And you'll know, if you watch Breakfast a lot, that this is an issue we've covered a lot. Pollution and sewage being released into our rivers and seas.
Yeah, it prompted the coach of one canoe club on the River Thames to get in touch with the BBC to share how his sessions are regularly disrupted by sewage discharge. Our reporter Wendy Hurrell has the story.
The Hambledon Weir in Berkshire, not far from Henley, creates the perfect wave for practising slalom canoe skills. But the sport puts these paddlers more than on the River Thames, they're literally in it. And with frequent sewerage discharges into its waters, they're taking precautions.
As experienced paddlers, there are certain things that we can do to minimise the risk of getting ill, so we never eat or drink when we're out on the water. We make sure we wash before we do eat or drink afterwards. We're very careful not to swallow the water.
The Sharks Canoe Club operates in different locations around West London.
We've had to curtail our activities since probably the end of November. The amount of rain has been excessive, so we haven't taken any of our junior paddlers out and we've not taken on any new paddlers during that period.
Nowhere on the River Thames is a designated bathing area, so it doesn't have to be monitored by the Environment Agency and that information made public. But of course there are many who have a vested interest in water quality.
Our approach is that it's important that we do try to continue to use the rivers. We're the witnesses to what's going on, and I think we can be part of the solution by raising awareness and demonstrating that it's a resource that the community really wants to be available to them.
James Snedden of the Henley Boating Company says he's seen swathes of raw sewage in the river here.
It affects myself, potentially my health. I've just been cleaning my boats and I need to make sure I properly wash up and disinfect. But also part of what I do is for the love of the river and the wildlife. And the wildlife don't get a chance to wash up afterwards. They are in it, the fish are being affected, the bird life is being affected, and there's a real degradation all round.
A Thames Water spokesperson said, "We remain the only water company to provide live alerts for discharges on our website so that everyone can then make informed decisions about swimming or carrying out activities in the rivers." These river users agree the problem is complex, that we all play a part in protecting these natural resources and want to be part of the solution. Wendy Hurrell, BBC News.
Let's talk some more about that with Giles Bristow, who's from Surfers Against Sewage. Giles, morning to you. So we heard there about the Sharks Canoe Club there on the River Thames, but this isn't an isolated case by any means, isn't it? What does it mean for you?
Yeah, what does it mean for us? Well, it means water users all over the country are frustrated, they're really, really angry that they can't use the water in the way that they want to. Beaches and rivers and lakes, these are beautiful places that people across this country absolutely love. And it's super important for them to be able to use them well, to be able to immerse themselves for swimming and surfing and sailing and canoeing. All these activities are great for our mental health and hugely positive for our physical health. And, the situation as it stands, this sewage scandal is ruining this situation, not only for people, but for the environment. And it's an absolute disgrace, quite frankly.
And in terms of the safety, how safe do you and the others in your club feel when you go into the water?
Yeah, look, I think this is a real double-edged sword because on the one hand, we want to encourage people to enjoy and go into the water to surf where they want to. As I say, people have a huge connection to these places. So it's really, really important. But we would say, do go in, do enjoy it, but be informed. So you mentioned there in your piece, there's the Thames Water resource. That is the only water company resource that's providing live alerts. But I would direct people as well to the Environment Agency's SwimFo and, more importantly even, to Surfers Against Sewage, the Safer Seas and Rivers Service app. We're the only app that provides live sewage alerts across the country, telling people whether it's safe to go in where you are. So enjoy the water, but go in informed. And then use that information, if you can't go in, to campaign. So join people like us, join Surfers Against Sewage, join the Marine Conservation Society and River Action and other local campaigns to campaign for better water, for cleaner oceans, for cleaner rivers, and make your voice heard, because that's absolutely vital. This year is, we have a general election coming up. we have the water companies' plans for investment, and we have massive public anger. So all these three things coming together means that this is a year that we can really campaign for clean water and better rivers and seas.
And Giles, speaking of campaign, the presenter Steve Backshall is petitioning to get sewage levels discussed in Parliament. Is that something that you support? I imagine it is.
Oh, my word, 100%. So actually, we have something called the End Sewage Pollution Manifesto. This is a manifesto produced by many bodies, sporting bodies and others, so the Angling Trust, British Canoeing, the RYA and Surfers Against Sewage. We produced this to campaign for better water, and we've been working with all of the major parties to say ahead of a general election, there's many simple things you can do to make a massive difference to the quality of water in the seas. So enforce the laws we have. We have all the laws we need. Enforce them properly and power up the regulator to be able to do that. Stop pollution for profit. So the water companies must have a first responsibility to the environment, not shareholders and CEOs' bonuses. Prioritise high-risk pollution, so where people go and swim, and also high-risk nature sites. And then harness nature. So we can do a lot just by rebuilding our wetlands and planting trees and having sustainable urban drainage systems. Much of this can do tons to really improve water quality. So it's all in this manifesto. I urge people to read it and back it and get behind it, really, to campaign for cleaner seas.
Giles, did you ever think you'd be in a position where in 2024 you would need to have a service that tells people where is full of sewage and where isn't, and where is safe for them to go and swim, where is them safe to put a foot in the water? How are we in this position as a country?
Yeah, Ben, it's such a good question. As you say, in 2024, we're in this position where a small charity, Surfers Against Sewage, has to provide an app to tell people whether it's safe to go in the water or not. I mean, this is mind-blowing. But at the same time, in 2024, it's just epic that what we've got is sewage, which is going to be a political issue at the election. So we're here because of 30 years of underinvestment, under-monitoring, under-prioritisation by the water companies and government and the regulators to protect people when they go in the water and to look after the environment. So it's a long and complex issue. But essentially now, what we've got to do is turn this around. We need strong regulation, we need a well-resourced regulator, and we need the water companies to be put into a position where they actually sort this out. Because as you say, it's 2024, we can look down from space, we can monitor all sorts of stuff, yet somehow we seem incapable for knowing really what's going on in our waters and keeping people safe. So it's got to change, this has got to change quickly. And the British public really want it to. They're angry, and we want to turn that anger into action.
Giles, thank you. Now, I just want to bring in a response from Thames Water. The Thames Water spokesperson said that they regard all discharges as unacceptable and are taking action to improve the health of the rivers. They say that's a key focus. And the Environment Agency says that they're pleased to see record investment from the water sector, but no, it'll take time for this to be reflected in spill data. But as you heard from Giles Bristow from Surfers Against Sewage, there's a lot of frustration at this taking time to come into place.